done so much of the homework to prepare ourselves for this thing about the tipping point, right? Yes. So,
but before we start, Pauline, I just want to actually find out, right? Okay, hi. Hey, implied warranty, please switch on the camera. I can see you. I can see you. Okay.
I can't see Pauline.
Yeah.
I'm blocked by you, man. Cannot be, right?
So if you, okay. I just want to find out from the 1.5 days so far, right? How many you find this Value Investing Summit 2022 is really of value? Now, from the scale from 1 to 10, can you give me an indication from 1 to 10? 10 means the maximum value, right? You feel a lot of value. 1 is totally bull crap. Can you right now indicate? Yes. Okay, right, indicate. Yeah, indicate. What's the value that you see? Wow, I see people, wow, a lot of 10, a lot of some 1.
11.
Yeah, got 11. Thank you. Okay, 9. Okay, good. Thank you. Wow. Cool. I want to see, thank you. Now.
Improve from last year.
Well, what improve from last year? Okay, intensive. Okay, this year, great. Excellent, Thank you. Thank you. Come on, keep coming. I want to see. Because the team, the VIS team that's running behind need to actually have this kind of feedback and acknowledgement, right? So they can continue to invite what? Great investor, okay, great thinker, okay, thought leader to come in, go forward to actually add more value to the community. You want that? You want that? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, you want that? Give me a thumbs up. Thank you. Now, yes, excellent speaker. Because I learned a lot from actually Munish itself. Really, the very interesting thing here. But before I go into that is, I want to highlight about yesterday. Now, yesterday there's one part, right? Mr. Louis Pinto actually came in to share about his so-called Metaverse Foundation program. Now, it's a program actually this program is under it. It's a V College. It's actually a V College program, right? So, and normally we do not so-called promote programs on because we want to share a lot of content information. Now, the key things why you discover yesterday what he shared, right, is actually cost recovery. How many of you realize that yesterday only he used 10 minutes to actually, he's not even selling program. It's a cost recovery thing. How many realize that? If you realize that, give me a thumbs up. Come on. Seriously, yesterday he's actually not selling program. I'm telling you, he's not selling program. And on top of that, I actually increased him to give our Infinite Wealth mentee, those who attend, the program for free. So please, guys, we need to 自動擔保啦. I mean, Hokkien say 自動擔保. That means it need to be automatic lah. When people can offer you something, okay, we need to offer something back to them, right? How many agree? If you agree, give me a thumbs up. Okay, there's no perfect solution. It's all win-win-win. But I need to highlight again. Okay, we still stand by the value investing. It's a high-level quality event. It's not a pitch fest. Okay, therefore, that's the key reason why a lot of actually our community members every year they keep coming back to actually attend the Value Investing Summit. Right? Can I see? This is at least the second time you attend this summit one. The second time one, you can type in me, so I can see that this is the second time. Okay, let's take a look. Wow, more than second time one, because I do know people attended more than 5 years already, right? Me one.
A third time.
A third time. Especially Stefan. Stefan also attended, I think, every year ever since we started. Right? Thank you, Stefan. Thank you so much. So I just want to actually make clear and actually clarify. Now come back to Munish one, right? Yeah. Okay. By the way, when I saw Munish what he shared, right, about 10 cents, I was blown away. Pauline, you know why?
Why?
We think alike.
You mean that time you actually, any one of you attended that session that Ken did, right? In last August. That talks about the Great China Sale. Of course, Ken did show you some of the historical stuff, but whatever that you have said about Tencent, the key one point is this: one talk too much, one never talk. Do you remember that point or not?
IW mentee, do you remember I did share with you? Do you know that IW mentee that you know that I invested in Tencent, right? Okay, last year in August. Okay, IW mentee, yes, no. If you know, yes, because of course I update all my so-called investment movement, right, for my personal one. Now, one of the key reasons I state down is because, okay, I use this word. Okay, Tony Ma is more politically sensitive than Jack Ma. That's the word that I use. He's more politically more in tune and more aware. What this means here is, yes, he had not only high EQ, he had high PQ, political quotient, okay?
Quotient, yeah.
Especially in China, it's very important. So give you a straightforward example, right? So if the CCP asked Jack Ma to jump, last time Jack Ma would say, why should I? But Ponima is it? How high?
Yeah.
so that is the difference between Ponima and Jack Ma. The PQ itself say very where to jump some more.
Yeah.
So it's very different. So and of course we do know that if we look at using VF to look at actually Tencent, you look at the gross margin will indicate certain things really.
Yes.
One of the very interesting part is you look at Tencent and actually Baba. Okay. By the way, I've actually done ground research in Baba before. I went to Hangzhou, Alibaba HQ, did ground research, came back, okay, and I monitor Alibaba for a period of time, right? But what really concerned me about Baba and Tencent, now I will share with you. Now, I'm not saying that Baba is not good, right? I'm saying that if you take note, right, Baba gross margin have been actually declining over the last 7-8 years. From about as high as about 70% all the way down currently about 38%. So this signifies to me, okay, that what Monish talked about in terms of their business model, especially e-commerce side, is quite difficult in the logistics. That's why they need to move into a different industry. And when we move in different industry, right, the capex and the learning curve and the competition is going to erode their so-called competitive advantage. Although they have a wide mode of the user. But Tencent is different. Tencent basically take a stake in those companies. So still sticking the core of actually their so-called army of engineer okay, in games. So if games cannot do, they will use this army engineer into certain things, right? So that is and that's one of the distinction I got it from actually Monish itself.
In fact, this particular slide that Ken mentioned regarding the difference between Tencent as well as Alibaba, there was a graphic that we actually showed inside this China case study. You can find this inside the V app. So we might want to show you, right now we show you regarding the V app. Ken will show you that for graduates, if you want to refer back, okay, so in this V app screen, you should see that inside the V coaching, actually we do have the Tencent analysis over there.
Last August, right?
Yeah, it's during the last August, but we have pinned it up because we know that many of you want to do probably another look into the Tencent case studies. Of course, inside there, we did not really state about the 30 digital Warren Buffetts. Yeah. We didn't state it in that way, but in the analysis, we did mention regarding the companies that they own. Okay, so you can see what are the companies that Tencent own, and you will know what we are talking about. It's actually the same thing that Monish is saying regarding the 30 digital Warren Buffetts.
And Pauline, just now someone actually asked a question very interesting, especially for the Malaysia side, the group, right? So that if Tencent, this kind of company don't talk, right? How am I supposed to actually know them? So what do you think it will be the better approach? Yeah.
Better approach. Stay here lah.
So to me, how many can see now there's an advantage and the value of being in the V community? If you can see there's an advantage being in the V community, right? Can you type in right now? V community is awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, the big advantage.
We rely a lot on Chee.
Yeah.
Okay.
The community. That's in V community.
The community.
Yeah, V community. Now why? Because alone, very difficult for you to actually get the so-called. We are very limited in terms of your experience and your circle competence, right? But in a community, okay, we can actually gather and leverage on our network, our connection, pull this top thinker in. We can have on-ground research, okay, in China itself. Bring in the latest policy, what's going on for the China party government, okay? And all this information is, you don't get to read them on in the annual report, okay? People take many years to get the distinction and the ideas. And we share this just with our community itself. Yeah.
So that's the reason why, Chee is really great. If you can watch the Chinese version, he has given even more details. Okay, but if you say, I don't understand, not to worry, you can always watch this China case study. So that's really very important. That's why we said in terms of the tipping point. Yeah. So there's a story that I would like to also share with the group, okay, regarding this tipping point. Yeah. Any one of you read the book called Tipping Point? Not sure whether you have read this book before or not. Yes, Tipping Point. Yeah. Okay, so this particular book, Tipping Point, is really good because it actually shows some things. Yeah, what do I mean by that? The characteristics, I just summarize, okay, the 3 characteristics of how you can reach a tipping point. Because I, especially over here or this time round in the V Summit, if you realize the speakers as well as Ken, Chen Hong, we are focusing a lot over here in telling you guys that investing is not about a straight line up.
Yep.
Because a lot of people thought, oh, today I attend the class or I attend a V Summit, I get all this watch list, which means, okay, I go and buy ready. Let's say I go and do my due diligence. I'm expecting it, within the 6 months, 9 months, okay, everything will just go up. Well, I hope it works that way. But things don't go this way, okay? Yeah. If you still remember that I actually mentioned regarding during the V evolution, that the moment I attended Ken's class, of course, there's a reason why I attend a mentoring session, right? Because I need to get a mentor to teach me. On my own, I didn't know anything about investing. But after I invested, there was this thing called the Euro debt crisis. All my portfolio down 30%. If you ask me, am I fearful or not? The answer is definitely yes. So this is where I go back to the community. And the community actually taught me a lot because I go back to those people with sanity. Yeah, really with sanity. Because my aunt actually told me, ayo, go get away from the stock market, blah, 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 blah. But there was the time where you can see that another opportunity came. Because remember, I actually said one thing. I remember I said one thing to Ken during the class in 2010. Because I attended in 2010. When was the subprime credit crisis? 2008, 09.
0809.
Yeah. I still remember when I came in 2010, I kind of like regretted. Why did I regret? Because all the stocks actually went up. So it's like, oh, I missed the opportunity. So that was my complaint during that time. I missed the opportunity. But after I invest, opportunity come. I cannot be complaining, right? When opportunity is here. So this is where you can see the characteristics of this tipping point is contagiousness. Little causes have big impact. What do I mean by little causes? Later, I will debrief a little bit. Change happens not gradually, but one dramatic moment. And I want to share with you this story. Some of you have seen my portfolio. This one, nothing to shout about because it's nothing compared to this person. Any one of you know him or not? Anyone of you know him? Heard of him before? Heard of him? Please say a yes. I want to share with you his story because he had a really good story when he invested. How many of you know which is the company that he invested and made him billionaire? Yes, great noise, Wilmar.
Wilmar, yes, Wilmar.
Everyone know Wilmar. And a lot of people thought, he is just lucky.
Yeah.
It's not that he's lucky, okay? Yeah, take a look over here, the real story is this. You take a look, he actually didn't come from a rich family, okay? And he also has to work when he was studying in Australia. But he started to realize one thing. So this is what we mean by you have to start to have that little effect. Listen to this very carefully, little effect. So when he was working in Australia, one of the fast food chain, because he has to earn his own keep while he was studying, he went to this place called the Red Rooster to work. When everyone is seeing how he roasts the chicken, he sees this thing as opportunity because this particular company or the restaurant chain specialized in roasting chickens. So he began to figure out how businesses make money. Okay, how businesses make money, all right? So with how businesses make money, he used this to start to become an investor. I mean, his background is in banking and finance, and he started to invest as a private investor, okay? And what he did was, when Wilmar, at the point of time, before they go listing, it was just a startup. He actually invested $10 million. And he also very heng. I'm not sure whether it's called heng or what. After he invested, any one of you remember in the 1997-98, there was this crisis called the Asian financial crisis. Yeah. Sorry, I know some of you are very young, not born yet, okay? But if you still remember, type in a yes. Why I remember during that time? Because I just start to come out to work, okay? And I'm also very lucky. Lucky in the sense, the moment I come out to work, for Asian financial crisis, that means no job. It was one of the most difficult times to really get a job. And at the point of time, there was a lot of political turbulences in Thailand, in Indonesia, etc. So what happened was, his $10 million almost gone into like nothing. You might be saying, your $10 million, nothing to him, like it's a drop in the ocean. Really? You think so? Come on, guys. $10 million. How many of you will have this word called fear? If you have this word called fear, type the word fear over there. All right, fear. 10 million, can you imagine how long it takes for him to save or so-called earn that $10 million? Yeah. And you invest in that one company, okay? And after that, it went almost down, okay? I think it's quite a big of a drop. I think more than 50%. So it went almost near to worthless. But the thing is this, you take a look at the box down there. He did not give up. And after a few years, the stock is worth a lot. They say a few years. It is 2010, Hello? 1998 to 2010. Everyone, type in this word. Patience. Really. It is this thing like patience. Why is it that he is so patient? It is not about that. Take a look at his success formula. Okay. He knows by getting in the right way is not enough. He did not give us when the share price dropped. Okay. That is the secret of his success. Is he fearful? The answer is definitely yes. All right. But his philosophy is this. When we want to invest, we want to have that long-term mindset in place. So in order to have that long-term mindset, everybody type in this thing called knowledge. You need to have that knowledge being built up. And I believe what actually helps him to really continue this and stay and with that conviction is because of that knowledge. Can that knowledge be built overnight? I will tell you lah. Do you know one of my biggest regret after I attended Ken's class? What was my biggest regret?
Never attend earlier.
Yeah. Ken always know this. I always say I should have attended earlier because just like I mentioned, right, 4.6 million. I'm always 1-0 behind him and he's only 2 years older than me. Why? Because he started 10 years earlier than me.
Yeah, but you look much younger. You look much younger. Don't worry.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, do you realize also he look very young, right? Hey, we are all in our so-called mid to late 40s. Okay. So this is where you see you have to invest, and when you buy a good deal, you have to leave it for 10 years. The minimum duration of his investment is 5 to 6 years, and usually it takes like 10 to 12 years. So the key thing is you have to be patient. So this story, after I read it, how many of you want to know how I have my first million tipping point? If you want to know, type in a yes. I'm not sure any one of you heard this story. Okay, so Ken knows this story very well. So in 2013, Ken and Clive offered the team members of 8i, okay, shares. Yeah, so the team members.
Based on NTA value. Net tangible value.
Net tangible value.
Yeah, and then being a education, back then as an investment education company, we are asset-like company.
Yes. And a lot of our team members wasn't very happy because we have to buy the shares. Ken and Clive don't believe in giving the shares. We have to buy the shares, but on NTA. That means what the company is worth. Yeah. Okay, because we are all investors. And in order for us to buy, what they did was they actually offer a big bonus. So the bonus is by right for us to buy. So it's technically almost free in that sense. Yeah. Okay, but after that, I realized there's a good point that I bought the shares. Because after that, it's something got to do with tax purposes. Okay, so a lot of people did not understand this part. That's why it's called wisdom. Everybody type in this word called wisdom. Because many of you probably you have gotten shares from your company for free. But after that, you realize one thing. What do you need to do? It's actually counted as your income and you got to pay tax. So what I did was, okay, so only one team member used the payout to buy the 8i shares. The others take the payout and left the company. Okay, that was the reality. And the company was in a flux. That means that one person who bought it, I thought, wow, everybody will buy, No, all left the company. So the company at that point of time was only 10 people. And no one knows that this company is going on listing. It's just like how Peter Lim that time was actually investing in that Wilmar. He didn't know. All right, what's going to happen, right? So the company was in a flux. 6 out of 10 members left. The other 3 members were actually new. Okay, that means all the analysts leave, all the marketers leave. Yeah, can you imagine that? Okay. Yeah. Now in 2014, of course, we do have new members coming in. March 2014, Ken and Clive decided to list the company. Okay, because we know of a way to list a company, and the company was still growing. And in December 2014, the company was successfully listed. This one person turned 50K into 1.6 million. Make a guess. Yeah, the one is Pauline. Yeah, she is still here. Yes, the one is me. Yeah, clap.
Please clap. Please clap.
So what I want to highlight is this. Many of you would say, yeah, Pauline, you are just lucky. But you have to understand one thing. Okay, that luck, as I always mention, is the labor under correct knowledge. And why I like to use stories, and all the IW graduates, when you come over, what does Ken like to share? What does Ken like to share every time? Stories. Yes, and these are real stories. And every time he shared are all real stories. Yes, all these real stories, why we like to share stories is because it makes you remember. You can remember this story. You can emulate it. That is the key thing. Okay, and all these stories, yes, a lot of them are really factual stories. Okay, so key thing that we learn from here is this. All right, I just want you to take away. Later, I'll talk to you about, of course, my journey continue after that with the VROS strategies and so on. But this 4.6 million, I can tell you, for over 5 million, over the years. I want to ask you this question: is this just a one-time thing? No, Pauline just invests for 12 years. So Pauline do have the whole 22 years, 23 years, 42 years, etc. Right? You can see over here, Felix, thank you very much. Context, conviction, commitment, and competency. So this is where you can see over here.
Pauline, I want to say this. Now, if you tell the story, right?
Yeah.
Now I can laugh, right? But during that time, 2013, walao, I cry also, no tears. Yeah. My tears can only go to the stomach. Can you imagine? Give bonuses to the team, okay? And to basically give free share to the team member. Team member also don't want it. They rather want the cash and leave the company. So can you imagine how demoralizing and how I think back then I can only say I have a lot to learn about leadership. I'm not a good leader. I cannot convince people to follow me back then. Okay, but lucky Pauline believe in the vision. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so the key learnings over here. So I speed up the slides. All right, because there are so much things that I want to share with you, and later on there is going to be okay, let me go back, and the team is going to show you this last slide, which will summarize everything. Okay, yeah, over here the key learnings, the tipping point. Okay, so over here is a contagiousness, continue to be in the V community. So this is where I would say, and little causes can have big effect. Build up your knowledge and skills so that you can trust yourself. So that when the opportunity comes, it's not about FOMO. Okay, just like in March 2020, any one of you would like to have March 2020 to appear again? If you want, please type in a yes. Can we manifest for it? Because you know what is my another regret was in March 2020. Ken, how much did you put in during that time?
Oh, I know. March 2020, not only I bought stock, I bought property also.
Oh yeah, you're landed.
Yeah. When I went in big,
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what my regret is I only went in like less than 20%.
I went in big. I went in about 50%. 50 to 60%. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, some of you say, yeah, it is now back to square one. Hey, no, Landly, it didn't go back to square one. Those stocks that we bought in March 2020, even though now it drops, it didn't go back to that stage.
Yeah.
Never. Haven't. Or maybe I hope. Okay. Yeah, it was much lower in March 2020. Those stocks that I actually only Baba. Okay. Hey guys, you cannot have one stock that went down under. That means all are like that.
No. People will say only Baba. That means maybe in their world only there's one listed company around the world. It's called Baba.
Yeah. Okay. So that time, March 2020, you sold your shares, Edwin. Okay. So March 2020, I hope it will come again. But you never know. Sometimes opportunity strike, you must be ready for it. Okay. So, and that thing is this: if you want change to happen, it's not just graduate, it's that one-time impact, that dramatic impact that really you can strike when opportunity arises. It sounds like, very cheap, or it sounds like it may not happen. It comes on. Really, it comes like the March 2020, it came and it's just 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and after that, it was over. Okay, but if you are ready for it, you know what are the actions to take. And why Ken can take a much bigger stake than me? I take 20%. He put in like 50, 60%. Because he has 20 years of experience behind him. So he knows what's happening. Me, maybe about 10 years. So of course, you can see the difference. As you are getting more experience, you can continue to do that. Okay?